Morning to everyone. Myself Suraj Kumar Soni, and this is a part number 5 of your chapter P block element of class 12 science chemistry. Okay, if you don't watch the last video, first I would like to suggest watch that video, then you can understand this video. Okay, in this video we will discuss about the some 16 group element and their properties and the oxides of the 16 group elements, and the two another compound of oxygen is ozone, and another compound is sulfuric acid. How we can prepare sulfuric acid, their physical chemical properties, and the contact process for the method of preparation. Then we will start the 17 group element. 17 group element means halogen family: chlorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and tritium. And then some physical property and chemical property of 17 group element. We just start the basic physical property of the 17 group element in this video, and the more important topics of 17 group element we will discuss in the next video. Okay, then we have left 17 group and 18 groups. Then the chapter of P block will be finished. Then we will discuss some more important questions of based on your P block elements. Okay, now we start. First, what is the meaning of oxide? When any metal or any non-metal react with the oxygen to form oxides, it may be classified in two categories: normal oxides and polyoxides. Polyoxides and oxygen form the oxides. Oxygen has two types of oxide. First one is normal oxide. First one is peroxides, and second one is superoxide. Okay, as written here, what is the meaning of peroxide? Peroxide. Okay, the formula of the peroxide is H2O2. Okay, H2O2, and the general formula of the peroxide is means O2 minus 2, that is called peroxide. Okay, and the formula of the superoxide example is peroxide is H2O2, and the formula of the superoxide is O2 minus. You should remember formula of the or symbol of the peroxide is O2 minus 2, but formula of the superoxide is O2 minus. Example of the superoxide is like KO2. Okay, this is the superoxide. Now, peroxide, superoxide, and suboxide. In this, oxygen has a valency less than -2, like N2. Okay, mixed oxide. In this, oxygen has oxidation number in the fractions like Fe3O4. If you want to find the oxidation number Fe3O4, you can determine it. Just look at that oxidation number Fe3O4. Oxidation number of Fe is +2, but there is 3 Fe, so the oxidation number is +6. And oxygen, we have to find the oxidation number of oxygen, so it is called +4x is equal to 0. Now shift to there, 4x, x is equal to 6/4 divided by 3/2. It is found in the fraction 3/2, so that is given mixed oxide. Mixed oxide has the fraction oxidation number. Okay, now on the basis of the nature we can another classify the oxides. First one is acidic oxides, basic oxides, and neutral oxide. Acidic oxides, what is acidic oxides? Acidic oxides, when we dissolve in the water, it gives the H plus ion. Okay, it's give the acid. For example, SO2 and CO2. SO2 and CO2 is the acidic oxides. Look at that. When SO2, you first of all you should know that when acidic oxides dissolve in water, it's give acid. When basic oxide dissolve in water, gives base. When neutral or amphoteric oxide dissolve in water, it's give amphoteric oxide, or you can say both. Just look at it. Acidic oxides means SO2 when dissolve in water gives acid like H2SO3, sulfurous acid. Okay, H2SO3. Like another example is when CO2 is a acidic oxide. When dissolve in water, it's give acid because it is acidic oxide. The formula is H2CO3. This is the acidic, that is called carbonic acid. That is called carbonic acid, and that is called sulfurous acid. Okay, again look at the formula. H2SO3 it is called sulfurous acid. H2SO4, it is called sulfuric acid. And H2CO3, it's called carbonic acid. So when CO2 react with the water to give carbonic acid. Okay, now basic oxide, when oxide react with the water to give basics, it's called basic oxides. Okay, example, all the metal oxides are basics. All the metal oxides like Ko2, K2O. Most important thing is that all the metal oxides are basic. The given is, it is given here, all the metal oxides are basic. Metals, what is the metals? Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, these are the metals. All the metal oxides are basic in nature. Okay, so the metal oxide dissolve in water, it's give base. For example, K2O, it's a metal oxide. Na2O, it's a metal oxide because Na is a metal and the oxide of metal is basic in nature. When dissolved in water, it's give base. What is the base? KOH. And dissolved in the water, it's give base. What is the base? NaOH. NaOH. Okay, these are the property of the basic oxide. Now another next term is the amphoteric oxide. I think you understand very well. Amphoteric oxide, metalloids give the amphoteric oxides. Non-metal, oxide of non-metal is acidic in nature, oxide of metal is basic in nature, and oxide of metalloids is amphoteric in nature. Metalloids means semiconductor, you can say. I would like to tell you that is 14 group, 15 group and 16 group. Silicon, germanium, it's a semiconductor, or you can say metalloids. Okay, in 15 group you will talk about phosphorus and arsenic, and in 13 group you will talk about aluminum and gallium. These are the metalloids. Okay, and the oxide of the metalloids is give the amphoteric in nature. For example, aluminum oxide, Al2O3, it is aluminum oxide. When it take with the aluminum oxide, it is the amphoteric oxides. Okay, aluminum, it is the amphoteric oxide. Now it behave together as an acid as well as the base, because it is amphoteric, so it behave as an acid as well as base. When amphoteric oxide dissolve in the water, it's give this, look at that, it is the amphoteric oxide. Aluminum oxide when dissolved in the HCl, it's give aluminum hexa aqua aluminum. When aluminum oxide dissolve in base, it's give sodium hexa hydroxy aluminum aluminate. Sodium hexahydroxy aluminate. Okay, now neutral oxide, they are very less in number and they are neither acidic nor basic. Example, laughing gas. Formula of laughing gas is N2O. Formula of the laughing gas is N2O. Now the another compound of oxygen family is ozone. Compound of oxygen family is ozone. Formula of the ozone is O3. Okay, and it is present in our upper atmosphere. How it can be prepared? Generally, oxygen can be prepared when the oxygen 21% oxygen present in our atmosphere. It when ultraviolet rays of sun strike on the surface of oxygen, it dissociate into oxygen atom O. Oxygen atom O. When oxygen atom react with the oxygen molecule O2, it forms O3. That is given here. Okay, this is the simple preparation method. It is a simple method. The ozone gas is formed. The reaction in the endothermic approach, because when the ultraviolet rays come on the strike on the oxygen molecule, so bond of the oxygen molecule dissociate and gives the oxygen atom. So 142.7 kilojoule heat is required, so we can say it is an endothermic process. Okay, now for preparing of the pure ozone, we use the ozonizer, in which the electric spark is passed through the oxygen gas and get well ozone. Okay, now another compound is a physical property of ozone. Physical property of ozone. What is physical property? Ozone is colorless, odorless gas, but it has a pungent odor. Sorry, it is colorless gas, but No, no, no. It's not a colorless gas. Oxygen is colorless gas. Ozone is blue color gas. It is blue color gas and it has a pungent odor like chlorine gas and ammonia gas. Okay, it is heavier than air. It is slightly soluble in water. Okay, it is diamagnetic in nature because it do not contain the unpaired electron. It contains the paired electron, and it is the depletion of the ozone is harmful for us. Now, chemical property. What is the chemical property of ozone? When an effect of heat, when ozone, if we heat the ozone, it decompose and give the oxygen molecule and oxygen atom. Oxidizing agent, oxygen ozone is work as a oxidizing agent. It is a stronger oxidizing agent than oxygen gas because it decomposes to form ozone to oxygen gas. Okay. Now, so the both oxygen form the oxidize the other. It is work as a oxidizing agent. Look at it. This is the example. Lead sulfide (PbS). Ozone convert the lead sulfide into lead sulfate. And this, look at the chemical reaction. Lead sulfide react with the ozone to form lead sulfate. PbS react with the SO3. Sorry, SOO3. It gives the PbSO4 and it converts the sulfur into sulfuric acid. When sulfur react with the ozone O3 with water, it's gives the H2SO4. Okay. Now we have the most important compound, sulfuric acid. The questions will of sulfuric acid will come in your exam, so it is most important compound. The contact process of the formation of sulfuric acid is very important. Okay, and the formula of the sulfuric acid is H2SO4 and formula of the sulfuric acid is H2SO3. Okay, how it can be prepared? Just look at it. Sulfuric acid is prepared by the contact process. And what is the steps of contact process? Step number first sulfur react with the oxygen, it form SO2 gas. Okay, and step number second, when sulfur react with the and SO2 react with the oxygen to form SO3. Step number third, when SO3 react with the impure H2SO4, it's give oleum. What is the formula of oleum? H2H2O7. This is the formula of oleum. H2H2O7. Okay. Then oleum react with the water, it's give sulfuric acid. H2SO4, that is a pure sulfuric acid. Okay. The sulfuric acid formed by the contact process, it is 99% pure. It is 99% pure. Okay. And the sulfuric acid is have low vitality. It is obviously it is sulfuric acid. It is an acid, so it is a strong acidic character, and it works as a oxidizing agent, and it is strong affinity for water. So okay. And dissociation. Sulfuric acid is dibasic in nature. How we can say it dibasic in nature? I would like to explain you. Just look at that. H2SO4. If you want to find that number of basic, dibasic, tribasic, tetrabasic, pentabasic, just you have to draw the structure of the compound sulfur. Sulfur contains 4 oxygen. Oxygen first, oxygen second, oxygen third, oxygen fourth. Sulfur has a 6 valency. It has a 6 valence electron, so it has a 6 bond. It can form 6 bond. And 2H, 1H is there, 1H is there. Number of OH bond. Okay, number of OH bond is 2, 1 and 2. 2H bond is here, so we can say it is dibasic in nature. Okay, and it is diabasic in nature. Again, the formula you can say how it can say dibasic in nature. When sulfuric acid H2SO4 dissolve in water, it's give H plus and HSO4 minus. HSO4 minus. It is called sulfate, or you can say bisulfate. Okay, when HSO4 bisulfate when dissolved in the water, it's give H plus and SO4 minus 2. It is called sulfate. It is sulfate and it is bisulfate. So sulfuric acid gives sulfate and bisulfates. That's why when sulfuric acid react with the any metals, it give sulfate and bisulfate, like sodium bisulfate and sodium sulfate. Na2SO4, sodium sulfate, and NaHSO4, sodium bisulfate, sodium sulfate and sodium bisulfate. Two compounds are formed by the sulfuric acid. Okay, now because of the formation of this bisulfate and the sulfate ions, it formed the two type of the details, bisulfate and sulfate, that is sodium bisulfate and sodium sulfate. Because of the low volatility, it can be used for the preparing of the volatile acid, that is halogen acids are. Okay, by this method we can form the acid. MX means metal halide, Okay, react with the sulfuric acid, it's give the metal sulfate and hydrogen halide, HCl, HBr, HF, we can form it. Okay, now the next one is it behavior as a dehydrating agent. I told you it is highly reactive and it is a volatile in nature. Okay, it is an oxidizing agent and it is a dehydrating agent. Dehydrating means it absorbs water or it remove water from the compounds. When glucose react with the sulfuric acid, glucose means sugar, C6H12O6, when glucose react with the water, glucose react with the sulfuric acid, it give black compound, black mass. Look at that, it's give the black mass. So we can say that it is the behavior as an oxidizing agent. Sulfuric acid gives SO2, H2O, and 1 and something else. And it oxidizes the copper Cu into Cu plus 2. When copper reacts with sulfuric acid, it gives copper sulfate and H2O and SO2. In that case, copper is the 0, oxidation number of copper is 0, but in that stage, oxidation number of copper is plus 2. Okay, now use of sulfuric acid. We can use the sulfuric acid as a laboratory reagent. Sulfuric acid is a king of acid and sulfuric acid is used as for making the fertilizer. It is widely used in the industry for the paper industries and the pulp industries. It is dehydrating agent. Okay, these are the properties of sulfuric acid. Now 17 group. 16 group is finished. Two compounds of 16 group, ozone and sulfuric acid we have done. Now we will do study in the of 17 group. 17 group, first of all you should know 17 group elements: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. Fluorine F, chlorine Cl, bromine Br, iodine I and astatine At. These are the these are the element of the 17 group, that is called halogen family. And electronic configuration and the atomic number you know very well. Atomic number of fluorine is 9. Atomic number of chlorine is 9 plus 8, 17. And atomic number of bromine is 17 plus 18, 35. Atomic number of iodine is 18, 35 plus 18, 35 plus 18, 35 plus 18, 53. And atomic number of the statium 53 plus 32, 53 plus 32, 85. This is the atomic number of the 17 group compound halogen. Now first we will discuss about the physical property, then we will talk about the chemical property. What is the physical property? In the physical property you will study about the electronic configuration, atomic size, ionic radius, electronegativity, ionization energy, electron gain enthalpy, etc. etc. First, electronic configuration. 17 group element contain the general electronic configuration of 17 group element is NH2 NP5. Okay, NH2 NH2 NP5 means it contains the 7 electron in the outermost shell, NH2 NP5. So I will have to tell you electronic configuration of the 17 group. Fluorine, electronic configuration of fluorine is 2H2 2P5. The chlorine 3H2, it is chlorine is present in the third period, so 3H2 3P5. Bromine 4S2 4P5 and so on. Okay, done electronic configuration. And I think it is printing mistake. Look at the bromine, look at the iodine, 5H2 5P4. It is not it is not right, it is wrong. 5H2 5P5. And atomic number and the electronic configuration of the astatine is 6H2 6P4. Again is printing mistake, the reality is 6H2 6P5. Now we will talk about the atomic size. What is the atomic size? Atomic size, when you move from top to bottom, atomic size increases because number of cell as well as number of electron increases. But we move from left to right in the periodic table, atomic size decreases because number of electron increases but number of cell is not increasing. Okay, so the 17 group element is smaller in size compared to 16 group element. Now ionization energy. Ionization energy means amount of energy required to remove an electron from the outermost cell is called the ionization energy. And the 17 group elements has the highest ionization energy, so we can say it has the highest electronegativity because it is smaller in size. Fluorine has the smallest in size, so it has high electron ionization energy. When you move from top to bottom, iodine has the low ionization energy. Now electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy means when we add an electron to the valence shell, then how much amount of energy released, that is called electron gain enthalpy. Just see the theory of the electron gain enthalpy so you can understand very well. Then I will explain you. Along a period, it is more negative because of the attraction towards the electron as the increased nuclear charge. Down the group, electron gain enthalpy keeps on becoming less negative because nuclear charge decreases and size increases. So the group 17 has the highest electron gain enthalpy due to the smallest size in the periodic table. Okay, what is the meaning of electron gain enthalpy? When we add the one electron in the outermost shell, then how much amount of energy released is called electron gain enthalpy. And value of the first electron gain enthalpy is always positive, and value of the electron gain enthalpy of the second electron gain enthalpy is always negative. Why? For example, when we add one electron in the outermost shell by heating, it releases the energy. It releases the energy. It is positive in nature. But when we add another electron, that time the molecule or element get the negative charge on there. When we add the another electron, then it repel the electron. That's why we are unable to add electron, so we have to give the energy to the elements. That's why it gets that element absorb energy, so energy is required. So we can say value of the electron enthalpy is negative for the second electron. Okay, first electron enthalpy is positive and second electron enthalpy is negative. Okay, and the most important thing, note is given, electron gain enthalpy of the chlorine is highest in the periodic table. Chlorine has the highest electron gain enthalpy in the periodic table because but you can say that fluorine is smaller in size. Fluorine is smaller in size, but it cannot hold the incoming electron. It cannot hold. It has a high repulsion between the electron. That's why fluorine has a low electron enthalpy, but chlorine has the highest electron enthalpy compared to fluorine. Now, electronegativity. Now talk about the electronegativity. Okay, electronegativity means attraction power of sharing pair of electron. We can say it is electronegativity. 17 group element has the smallest in size, so we can say that it has the highest electronegativity compared to 16 group elements. And fluorine has the highest electronegativity because it is smallest in size, so it can attract the electron from the shared pair of electron. Now the melting point and boiling point. Melting point and boiling point depend on the molecular mass. When you move from top to bottom, molecular mass increases, so the melting point and boiling point also increases, and the water van der Waals force also increase. That's why melting point and boiling point also increases. So the order of the melting point and boiling point of 17 group element is: iodine has the highest electron melting points, then chlorine, then bromine, then chlorine, then fluorine. Okay. Now we talk about the color. Discuss about the color of the halogen compounds. Halogen compounds show the colors, like fluorine shows the dull yellow in color. Fluorine is dull yellow in color, and chlorine is a greenish yellow in color. Light yellow in color is fluorine, and chlorine shows the light greenish yellow in color. Bromine is a red brown in color, and the iodine is a violet in color. Okay. Wait a minute. Now, if you talk about the oxidation state of the 17 group elements, 17 group element contain the 7 electron in the outermost shells. So it shows the -1 oxidation state because it gained 1 electron and shows the -1 oxidation states. It can show the +1 oxidation state, but it gained 1 electron, and 1 electron can be easily taken. Higher oxidation state of halogens are used when they are combined with the small size highly electronegative ions. All the halogens are very reactive, and the reactivity decreases down the group. All act as a Lewis acids because it gain electron, and the Lewis base are those elements that those compound which donate electrons. So halogen elements are the low acids because it accepts electrons. Fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent among the all. Now we'll talk about the anomalous behavior of the fluorine. in their group, because fluorine is the smallest in size. It do not contain the vacant d orbitals. It has the highest electronegativity. It has a high ionization energy, and absence of the vacant d orbital, and low the FF bond energy. That's why fluorine shows the anomalous behavior in your groups. Now the chemical property, we have physical property we have done. Now we are going to talk about the chemical property. In the chemical property, we will discuss the reaction of the halogen with the hydrogen and reaction of the halogen with the oxygen. Okay, first talk about the reaction of the halogen with the hydrogen. When the halogen compounds fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, tritium react with the hydrogen compounds, hydrogen element to form the hydride, like halogen hydride, like fluorine hydride, hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen bromide, and hydrogen iodide. These are the hydride formed by the halogen compounds. The property of the halogen acids are all all have the linear structure, and with the bond angle is 180 degree. And out of the all, only the HF is the liquid. Otherwise, all are the gases, because HF form the hydrogen bond with the water molecules. That's why it is found in the liquid state, but the other element found in the gas state. If you talk about the structure, just look at that. This is the structure HF molecule. This is H and F. We can say it is linear in structure, and the bond angle is 180 degree. 180 degree. Okay. How you can, and the hybridization is sp. Okay. If you found the hybridization of the HF, so you can determine by the simple formula. HF, number of valence electron in the outermost shell is in fluorine is 7, and number of shared electron 1, or you can say number of sigma bond 1, so it is called 8, and 8, so divided by the 2, it's got 4 means sp3, but sp3 is not a hybridization of the HF. It is sp3 hybridized, but the structure is not HF. Structure is not tetrahedral. Structure is, it may be bent. Okay. Now stability of the hydrogen halides. Stability of the hydrogen halide decreases from top to bottom. Like HF has the highly stable, but HI is a low stable, because when we move from top to bottom, size increases, so the bond length increases and the bond dissociation energy decreases. That's why HF is the highly stable. If you're talking about the reducing nature increases of moving from top to bottom. So HI is the highly reducing agent, and it is easily dominate the hydrogen atom, because it is largest in size in the hydride in their respective groups. Now if you talk about the boiling point and melting points, boiling point and melting point increases from top to bottom. In the case of hydride, HF has the lowest boiling point due to low molecular mass, but HI is the highest molecular boiling point because due to high molecular mass. And the boiling point increases due to depend on the molecular mass and van der Waals force. Polarity. All the halogen acids are polar in nature. Greater the size of the anions, more is the polarity, more is the covalent character. Out of the HF, out of the all the hydrogen halides, HF is highly polar. Okay. Now talking about the reaction with the oxygen. If halogen compound react with the oxygen, it form like M2O type of halogens, M2O type of oxides. This is the examples. You can see that these are the example. Fluorine form the F2O and F2O2 oxides. Chlorine form the Cl2O and ClO2 and Cl2O6 and Cl2O7 oxides. Bromine form the Br2O and BrO2 and BrO3 oxides. Iodine form I2O and I2O4, I2O5 and I2O7 type of oxides. And the stability of the oxides increases down the group. The reason is behind this trend due to some thermodynamic reasons. Thermodynamically, the energies increases. That's why stability of these oxides is also increases. Now the next compound of the halogen family is chlorine. We just talk about the physical property and chemical property of the halogens. The first compound of the halo 17 group element is halogen, is chlorine. Formula of the chlorine is Cl2, and it is colorless gas. Sorry, it is the greenish yellow in color, and it is highly pungent odor. It is very pungent in odor. And how it can be prepared? It is simply prepared by the pyrolusite, means MnO2 react with the HCl. When MnO2 react with the HCl, give the chlorine gas. Okay, it's give the chlorine gas. This is the chemical reaction. You can see it. MnO2 react with the HCl, give the MnCl2 and the chlorine gas. And another method of the formation of the chlorine gas is when CaMnO4 permanent react with the HCl, gives Cl2 gas. Now industrial preparation of now if we talk about the industrial preparation, chlorine gas can be prepared. We talk about the two laboratory method, but now we are going to talk about the industrial method. In the industrial method, dissociation, electrolysis of the salt like NaCl. Okay, this is the given here. When the dissociation electrolysis of the NaCl, when NaCl, in this method we use the battery, and anode and cathode electrodes are used. When current is passed through the electrolyte, marine solutions, then Na plus shifted to the chlorine, shifted to the cathode electrode, and the chlorine ion shifted to the anode electrodes. That's why we get the chlorine gas. Now we talk about the industrial preparation is by Dakin process. Dakin process we left. In the Dakin process, we can form the chlorine gas when HCl react with the oxygen. It's give the chlorine gas. Now physical property of the chlorine gas. What is the physical property of chlorine gas? I told you chlorine is greenish yellow in color. It is pungent odor, suffocating odor in. Okay, when you will do the practicals in your laboratory, you will see chlorine is pungent gas, pungent smell gas, and it is highly poisonous in nature. If you smell so much amount, then you will goes into the unconsciousness conditions. It is soluble in water because it forms the hydrogen bond with the water, and it is poisonous in nature. Okay, this is the topics we have discussed in this video. Then next video we will discuss about the oxides of chlorines and some other compounds of the halogens. Then we will talk about the 18 groups. Okay, this is a question based on this video. Question number first: explain the oxides on the basis of the nature. Explain the physical and the chemical property of the ozone. Question number third: explain the process of the contact process. And question number 4: explain the physical and the chemical property of the chlorine. Question number 5: explain the some property of 17 group elements like atomic size, electronegativity, ionization energy, and oxidation state. This is very most important question. If you do it in your notebook, you will better understand this video, and you will better understand the P block chapter. So you have to do these questions in your notebook. Okay, we will check it after school you reopen. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, and watch this video again and again for the better understanding. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.